Got a good question from a professional photographer in Cork in Ireland asking about getting a coffee table book published. So here's my advice for you. First of all, what I say is don't listen to my advice. Mine is only one tiny little piece of the puzzle. What I would advise is look at the comments down below, and if anybody leaves their links to their books or where they've been published, that would be the best way to start. There's a couple of ways of going around it, which you've already mentioned, and there's lots of different outlets of doing it. So the first question you said is that you're looking to produce a coffee table style book about the Port of Cork. The problem I have is, where do I start? That's for you to decide. I would say start with having a whole bunch of photos. I already have permission to shoot from Port of Cork boats, buildings and land, but I'm not sure what the next steps are. I would say go take some photos. Do I start shooting? Yes. Okay, so sorry, I should have read a little bit further into email. Yes, just start shooting. Then he said, do I try and get a publisher on board? Do I look into self-publishing? How do I decide chapters and chapter content, etc., whatever? Good, very, very good questions. My advice with it, I've done a couple of books. Some are, like for example, I've got my Getting There with Photography book by Don Bauer, which is a hefty 112 pages, I think I did it. And I do self-publishing through Blurb, so they individually print off each book and deliver it to individual people. So you can decide on the quality of the paper, your markup price. For I think 120 pages in this small book, I think just for them to print it and deliver it is around about £28. It depends on how many pages that you put in, not how many photos that you put in. However, I do many photos per page, so there's difference going on there. The other option which I've used is Photobox Pro Galleries. There I've just made a portfolio album in this one. So if you click on here, you've got the view book. This is 70 pages of a selection of my images going on there, which again, if anybody wanted to buy, they can happily go and buy that. And that was just portfolio. That's just a whole bunch of my shots that I've taken over the time. Nothing particularly ooh, this is how to do a book. What I do know is I know people who've been trying to do books as well, and their publishers, the first thing that they said to them is oh, make sure you've got 40,000 likes on Facebook before we'll even consider giving you publishing rights. So, you know, you can buy likes on Facebook. So some publishers are like, that's just bullshit. But I would say generally a lot of the time, publishers are so full, so busy, that they're not going to really look at somebody who doesn't already have content out there with other publishing magazines. Most of them will be, if you're already a professional photographer and you're submitting to magazines and you have a blog and a publisher that uses you, let's say it's a magazine, they go, hey, we're doing an album at the end of this year, do you want to shoot it? Or can we use some of your photos? Yes. And then it progresses on from there. Going straight to publisher saying, hey, I'm going to take some photos of this place. Do you want to give me a loan to do it? Very unlikely for that to happen. What to do is get your photos, get recognition, put them out there, and then contact the publisher saying, hey, look, would you like to publish this book with all my images? As you can see, I've already got a customer base of 10,000 people, 20,000 people, 100,000 people, so there is a market for this book. It's a difficult one to go on there. There is another one where you can do publishing through Amazon, where you need to get an ISBN number, which is a bit of a faff from what I heard. And then you can do self-publishing through Amazon and through iTunes as well, or like iBooks is another way of doing it. And then I would say the majority, 99% of the time, unless you are a world-renowned Chase Jarvis photographer, that does that kind of stuff, then it's likely that you're going to need a massive online following and content and just kind of desire for your work and proof that you've got sales that people are actually interested in, and that doesn't need a whole pile of extra editing. In terms of what your content and stuff and how do you put into chapters, if it's a coffee table book, it doesn't really need to have that much stuff in it. It can literally just be photo after photo after photo, and you can do it through either certainly if it's like a port area, it might be an interesting thing doing it seasonally. So start at the front of the book, starting in winter, traveling through to spring, summer, and then autumn, that might be an interesting way of doing it. Or you may do it from location to location within the port, or even a night to day kind of photos as well. But that's what your creativity needs to be working on, rather than somebody else tell you what to do there. That's what you've got to figure out. But in terms of actual publishing, most likely make the book, edit your photos, self-publish it, self-advertise it, and then once you've got a bit of a client basis, then maybe go to a publisher if you're not already established with publisher already. However, that's just my advice. It's not gospel in any way. Hopefully other people down below who've had books published, they can give some better advice and maybe some links to their stuff. So there you go. Hope it helps. Bye-bye.